Hello, let's discuss beautiful garden from today's Codechef contest. Chef has a beautiful garden that contains 10 flowers. Initially, all are in full bloom. However, each flower is a bit shy. Once plucked, eighth flower takes exactly 3 days to regrow and bloom again. Chef loves plucking flowers but also wants his garden to always be beautiful. So, at least K flowers should bloom on that day. Over a period of D days from 1 to D, Chef will pluck some of the blooming flowers. On a day, he can choose to pluck any flowers as the condition satisfies. There should be at least K blooming flowers on that day. Determine the maximum total number of times chef can pluck a flower in D days while respecting the garden's beauty requirement. And the conditions are very low, all are less than or equal to 10. So the main goal is to find the maximum number of flowers that we can pluck in all days with satisfying the condition that every day at least K flowers should be in full bloom. So if we pluck ith flower today, it will bloom after VI days again. So for example, let's take two flowers with VI2 and VI10. It means that if we pluck this flower today, it will bloom after 2 days again. And if we pluck this now, it will bloom after 10 days. And for example, if we have 3 days total and if we have 1 day, which is better to pluck now? It is surely better to pluck the least one because it can be, it will bloom faster and we can remove that in faster days compared to the other one. So if we have 2 and 10, it is better to pick 2 because if that number of days are 3, we can pluck 2 again in day after tomorrow. And if d is equal to 1, we cannot pluck either 2 or we cannot pluck 10 as well. So in any ways, plucking 2 is not bad than 10. It is surely best in all the possible options. So the first observation is if there are many flowers, it is obviously better to pick the flower with least value so that it can bloom faster and we can pick in the faster day as well when compared to other ones. So pluck the one with least value. So now the next question is we should pick only one or we can pluck any number of flowers in the same day. It is given that we can pluck any number of flowers in the same day. So our aim is also to find the maximum number of flowers that we can pluck. So instead of only plucking one, let's try to pick many so that the answer will increase. So we want the maximum flowers that we can pluck in all days. So what is the maximum number of flowers that we can pick at any day? So for example, if the number of full flowers that are bloomed now is x, is y, and after plucking some x flowers, it will become y minus x. So to satisfy the condition, it should be greater than or equal to k, because it is given that the requirement should satisfy on every day. So y minus x should be greater than or equal to k. So x should be less than or equal to the number of active flowers now minus k. So the number of flowers we can pluck is x and it is less than or equal to this. So maximum number of flowers we can pluck is the number of active flowers present minus k, so that the condition will be satisfied. So we understood that we have to pick the least now active minus k number of flowers from the beginning, and so that we can get the both conditions satisfied, that is the maximum number of flowers we can pluck and the condition will not be satisfied again, that is it will satisfy every day, that is greater than or equal to k on every day. So but how to simulate this? For example, how to get active flowers on any day, how to get the least flowers at any day, and how to get which flower will be bloomed on which day. So let's start with the first one. So how to find what are the active flowers at present day? So we just want the indices of the flowers that are active at the present day. So we just want the indices of active flowers, so we can store the indices in set. So if the element is present in set, it means that it is full bloom on present day. And if the element is not present, it means that it is plucked before and it was not bloomed again. And how to get the least flowers at any day? So we want the least, let's assume that it is x and we want the least x values of all the available flowers. So we can just insert the value of v of int and int to the vector and we can sort it and we can get the least required number of flowers. So it is simple. So we can just push the number of days it will take to bloom and index, and we can sort this. So it will be sorted based on the least time, second least time, and so on. So in this way, we can traverse the first required size number of flowers and we can pluck those. And the final one is how to get which flower will bloom on first day, on which day. For example, if you are plucking some flowers on first day, how can we know that what are the flowers that will bloom on next day? So how can we maintain this? We want from increasing order date. So we want the flowers, what are the flowers that are blooming today? and what are the flowers that are blooming tomorrow, and what are the flowers that are blooming day after tomorrow and so on. So we want in this way so that we can simulate the process. So obviously we can understand that we have to use min heap because we want the least date that is possible with the index of the flowers that is blooming on. So for example, if the 0th flower is blooming on second day, so it will be stored as 2 comma 0. It means that on day 2, 0th flower is going to bloom again. In this way, if we try to store in bin heap, we can get the least possible day and the index that is associated with it, and that is blooming on second day. So initially the set will be 1 to n because all flowers are active on the first day beginning. We did not pluck anyone, so all are active, so set will be 1 to n. And now we start traversing the days. So we have d dash to find the maximum number of flowers. So we start traversing all. And what is the first thing we have to do while starting the day? So check if there are any flowers blooming today. So for example, if we have plucked some flowers before, and if there are some flowers that are blooming today, obviously they are going to become active on today morning. So we have to add in the set, in the available set. So yes, if there are any blooming flowers today, add in the active set. And second one, the second condition is we have to find the maximum flowers that can be plucked today. So while doing this, we also have to do one thing where with above thing we want to pluck active dot size minus k flowers because we discussed that we are going to remove some number of total flowers from the active set to get the final maximum answer. So we have to remove these active number of flowers. So erase this from active set because these are going to pluck today and will bloom only after some certain number of days. But those are not active from today till the blooming day. So we are going to remove from the active set and push them into heap because we are plucking that today. So it will bloom after some days. So we are using heap to get that condition. So we are pushing them into heap so that we can bloom those later and we can simulate them. So for example, we are at I3. So what are the conditions that we have to take? So we have to check whether are there any flowers blooming today. If yes, then we have to add all in a active set because these are going to bloom today. And the second one is we want the what is the maximum number of flowers that are going to pluck today. So we are doing that, and with those we are doing a final condition that if we are trying to remove some flowers today, those are no longer active from today till the blooming day. So we are going to remove all those from the active set and we are adding them to the heap to specify that there are some flowers going to bloom on that day with the indexes. So let's check the code. We are initially inputting the nkd, the values of n and the k and d, and we are inputting the v of I for all, and we are inserting all integers from 0 to n minus 1 in the set because all are active with the first day, and we want the priority queue of pair where first value represents the day that is blooming and second one represents the index of the flower that is blooming on that day. And initially the answer is 0 and we are starting from day 1 to d. And now this is the condition specifying that if there are any flowers that are blooming today, so while priority queue is not empty and pq.top.first, this means that it is the present day. pq.top represents the least one, dot first is the day of the least blooming flower, and if it is equal to present day, it means that there is some flower that is blooming today. If it is there, we are finding the index of that flower and we are popping that because it is no longer in the blooming state, it is going to become in the active state. So we are inserting that into the index, into the set. And finally we can use the loop because why not just topping the top one, because there can be many flowers that are blooming today. So it is better to use a loop to remove all the flowers that are blooming today. So we are using the loop, and finally if the condition fails, it will break the loop. And now we are finding the number of flowers that we are plucking today. So we are using function for this, and if h dot size less than or equal to k, it means that we have k flowers today or less than k flowers today. It means that we can't pick any flowers today because if we at least pick one flower, it will be less than k, and the condition will not satisfy. So if the size is less than or equal to k, return 0. And we are using vector of pair, and we are traversing the active set and we are pushing the value and index, and we are sorting it to get the least values, and the number of flowers that we are going to pluck today is x dot size minus h dot size minus k because we discussed in the before, and we are traversing from 0 to x, and we are removing the index from the set because this is no longer active. This is we are going to pluck today and we are going to push in the heap. So pk dot push the present day, and we are it will bloom on the next on t of index days after. So the day it will be bloomed is day plus t of index, and the index of flower is id. So In this way, we are trying to simulate both set and priority queue, and we are returning the number of flowers we are going to pluck. So hope you understand this. If you have any doubts, comment below. See you in the next video.